Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and this is a word of caution regarding watching pick a card love readings. So while there is nothing inherently wrong with wanting to know where you stand with the love interest on your mind, the reason why you're wanting to know where you stand with them matters greatly, as it can greatly impact your mental and emotional well-being. So a very good question to ask yourself when it comes to why you're watching pick a card love readings is, am I simply curious or am I actually clinging? Holding on to hope isn't always a good thing, especially if it's keeping you stuck in limerence or in codependence. The last thing I want to do is to enable limerence and codependence with the content that I create. I want to help you create a life in which you're truly thriving, not keep you stuck in survival mode. And I know how it all works because I've been there. So this is where grace, knowledge, understanding, and compassion come in. It's okay if the only way you're able to self-soothe in this moment is by way of participating in coping mechanisms, distractions, and the like. As long as you're also doing yourself a favor by learning how to heal the wounding that has been fueling any limerence and or codependent patterns that you might have. My promise to you is that as you heal the wounding, your dependency on your SP, which means specific person, aka the person on your mind, or your ex, will begin to dissolve naturally, to the point where you're not even curious about what they're thinking and how they're feeling about you anymore. I know this to be true from personal experience. When you're ready to start healing the wounding, I have some amazing resources to get you going. My personal recommendation is to start with 2 videos, how to stop manifesting separation, and then the other one is called Releasing the Wants. Both videos will be linked in the description box below. My heart is always with you guys, and with that I bid you more happy viewing. Love, Michelle. Pile 1, what is going on? Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. We're doing another pick a card love reading. We are tapping in, channeling your person's, let's see, finding out where you stand with them currently, okay? We'll find out where you currently stand with your person, basically, like, who are you to them? What do they want from you from the connection? And at the very end, we'll grab, their thoughts and feelings and any kind of messages that might want to come through, okay, you guys? Keep in mind, it's a general reading. Whatever resonates, take it, run with it. If something doesn't resonate, drop it, leave it behind for the people that it resonates for, okay? So I do have personal readings available if you want me to tap exclusively into the energy of you and your person's connection. All the booking details are in the description box below. There's a lot of readings in the specific person category, so go check them out. Many of them are just $25, all right? So, pile 1, you guys were drawn to, let's see, the rough pink tourmaline in quartz stone. I like the aesthetic of that stone with these cards, but anyway, let's find out. Your person's overall energy. We got getting to know each other as you reveal your innermost selves to each other. Your bond deepens. And then we have the Ace of Cups in the upright position, the Knight of Swords in the reverse, and then we have the Hierophant. Okay, so there's conflicting energies here. I can tell you what your person wants, okay? And I can tell you what's getting in the way. A lot of overthinking, okay? So your person, there's actually some excitement coming through in your person's energy. I'm tapping into it. It's very subtle. It's beneath the surface because we have the Knight of Swords here in the reverse, kind of putting a little bit of a damper onto things, but that's your person overthinking, okay? With the Ace of Cups and the Hierophant coming through here, this is somebody, pile 1, like their thoughts and their feelings about you, like their current mood and their energy towards you in this connection is they're definitely seeing it as something that has the potential to turn into something very meaningful, maybe even traditional. The Hierophant can very much talk about marriage, okay, making things official, getting married, but the kind of wedding that's in front of God and not justice of the peace, right? Not that there's anything wrong with getting married at the justice of the peace, but this seems like your person is seeing you as someone that they can see themselves, pledging their love to in front of, you know, friends and family, whether that's, you know, marriage, a marriage ceremony or something very ceremonial. Okay. Getting to know each other. So for some of you, yeah, because we have getting to know each other, and then we have the Ace of Cups. And so for many of you, you might be just tuning into a connection where, you know, you and this person just met. And for those of you where this is someone that you've been with, or, you know, you guys have history with this person, this is like a whole new energy coming into the connection, okay? So pile one, your person is opening up. They're doing it very cautiously, though, with the Knight of Swords in the reverse, okay? There's definitely a feeling of, like, hesitancy, you know? I'm kind of seeing somebody dip their toe in the water to kind of see what the temp is like. There's kind of a lot of, and I'm hearing, what's fragility? I'm hearing fragility. We'll see what's going on here. They're looking at this connection and seeing what the deeper meaning and the possibility might be, because this is a lot of potential. Your person is really looking at the potential of this connection, okay? When it comes to you in the connection pile one, they're leaning, their energy is leaning more towards a deeper meaning, towards something with more of a spiritual or an emotional substance to it. They're feeling safe in this connection because they're sensing somehow that they're safe to be vulnerable with you. Like this connection and you are a safe space for them. They are certainly seeing you and this connection as having the potential to become something that's real, something that's rooted and significant in them and in their life, okay? But there's also energies of them wanting to kind of like, maybe that's what I'm seeing, like dipping their toes in the water, kind of taking baby steps at a time. They're not ready to dive in, okay? They're not ready to dive in quite yet. They're in a process of emotionally and spiritually attuning to the bond. So this is giving me energies, pile one, of your person maybe not being used to a bond with this kind of a depth or a connection with this kind of depth. You may have your person asking themselves questions they just never really saw themselves asking. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay. I'll put these over here. We're going to find out now, like, where you currently stand. That's their energy towards you, okay? Let's see where they stand, though, where you stand with them. Pile one's person. Where does pile one currently stand with you? Okay, love and growth. Then we got secretly stalking. Let's get one more. Pile one's person. Where does pile one currently stand with you? I love how synchronistic things can be within these readings. So we have love and growth, okay? Again, it's more that Ace of Cups energy. This is actually giving me more of an Ace of Pentacles feel with it, though. So that feels like it's something that's actually rooted in the 3D. Like there's, you know, this is letting me know that it is, like, because I am seeing the Ace of Pentacles. This is me tapping into your person actually wanting to take it out of the realm of just concept and idea and actually make it root in the 3D. Okay, so what that's coming through for me, like where you stand with your person, they are actually wanting to take real tangible steps forward. Okay, albeit they're telling me baby steps, okay? Again, dipping their toe in the water. They're not wanting to dive all in at one time, but there is some real steps towards you and towards the connection that your person is wanting to take. So, I mean, it can be little things like, you know, just depending on where your guys' connection is at, just, you know, fit that in, okay, where it works with your situation. For some of you, it might be just taking you out on dates, right? If that's not something you've done with this person before. For some of you, it could just be maybe, you know, introducing you, or, you know, maybe to a handful of their friends, or maybe taking you out on, you know, a company outing, you know, their business, right? If they're, you know, something, it's a small step, but it's for them, it's going to show you, pile one, that they do take you in this connection seriously, but it's going to be a very small step, okay? But it is something. It's in the right direction. Let's get one more. Okay, yeah, look. Okay, so we have love and growth. It says love that grows with time needs time to grow. Unexpected lessons in love. Now, secretly stalking says curious about you, not over you, okay? Checking social media. So this is someone, pile one, who they may have actually done a background check on you, if they know, you know, the kinds of information that they would need to know in order to do that. They've definitely been on your social media trying to get a feel for, like, you, your energy, what you're about. Yeah. And then we have soul connection. We have soulmate here, right? It says soul connection, a friend / romantic partner, and compatibility. Bottom of the deck energy, this says getting pregnant, building a family, giving birth to something. We'll see what that's in reference to, but again, your person is, an Ace of Cups can also mean fertility, right? Your person is certainly, and the Ace of Pentacles coming through just energetically is also kind of the same thing. It's just different, coming through in different energies. Your person is certainly seeing the potential for a beautiful connection here. They can see the potential for you possibly, you know, becoming the mom or dad of their kids, right? They can see marriage. They can see living together. They can see expansion, all right? That's in the very generalist of terms. Like, your person can see this connection growing and expanding into something more, you know, structured with the Hierophant, something more regular. That's everyday, right? Everyday stuff. Let's see. I want to clarify. Let's look at love and growth real quick. Clarify love and growth, please. Yeah, your person is very cautious about moving things forward. I don't feel like it has a lot to do with you. This is just their overall maybe fear, right? With the Page of Swords, because this is, again, them saying, like, they're moving forward very cautiously. I mean, they don't, it almost feels too like with the Page of Swords, like saying, it's like, this is your person almost hovering over the seed and making sure, like, okay, do I want to plant more here? Do I want to spend and invest more time here? It's nothing against you and the connection. Like I keep telling you, pile one, your person actually sees this connection and you as being very promising. And we'll find out what's going on, because I feel like this is being driven by fear and doubt, okay? And where that fear and doubt is coming from. This is why they are watching you. They're observing, okay? But the Page of Swords can also talk about curiosity, right? And so I feel like there's a lot of different reasons why your person's kind of hanging back and just in observation mode. They're studying you very closely is what I'm hearing, pile one. They see this connection as being very promising, but I'm almost feeling like, what's this underlying current here? Yeah, they want to make sure that they don't end up. Okay, so what's at the root of this cautious, like them being very cautious and being almost scaredy cat? Trepidation is what it is. They're very trepidatious about, you know, moving forward. I mean, they're even feeling trepidatious about even sowing seed. I'm picking up kind of a sense, pile one, where maybe your person had an experience at some point in time where they may have, you know, been in some kind of an experience or a relationship or a connection where things weren't what they seem, and then they realized they were basically sowing in the wrong garden, right? And that's kind of what feels like here. Like, the connection itself, and this is your person coming through, where you stand with them, they see this as very fertile ground, right? They really do. And they are so, they're kind of afraid, like maybe it's not what it seems, like it's too good to be true. I'm kind of hesitating saying a little bit of that because it's an underlying feeling. I don't feel like your person mistrusts you, or I don't, it's kind of weird. It's very much, it's just that wounding. There's an old residual wounding that your person is just like, okay, they just need to prove to themselves that it's safe to move forward with you, because at one point in time, very possible, pile one, your person, moved forward in another connection with someone else. Maybe even that, that connection may have had very similar energies to the one that you guys had, and it just, for whatever reason, your person got burned, is what it feels like, okay? So, yeah, they see a lot of potential. They see a lot of ground that can be made here. They want it to be true. They're moving very slowly, though, as to kind of manage, like, they're trying to manage their attachment, right? They're trying to manage it, okay? That's what they're doing, and that's why, they're looking at you, they're observing you, they're watching you, they're seeing how, you handle things and how you show up and how you handle conflict and stuff like that. Yeah. Tell me more about soulmate. Clarify the Eight of Wands. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, the Knight of Wands in the reverse. Ooh, man. Pile one, your person they see you as a soulmate. And I'm picking up that energy. Yes, there is kind of a thing in the background of your person's mind, and it feels almost like a gnat, like it's bugging them, right? Like it's too good to be true. Remember the last time we felt that way and how we got our heart stomped on, and like this is kind of like what's going on in the background. This is what's causing your person to kind of hesitate, and really, I'm trying to figure out what to call that, because they're almost hovering over this connection in a very watchful way. I can't, maybe that'll come to me at another point, but your person is definitely with, we have the Eight of Wands here being clarified by the Knight of Wands in the reverse. The Eight of Wands clarifying the soulmate energy. This is your person feeling driven. They have this internal drive and desire to move things forward, because the Eight of Wands, that's forward moving momentum. They feel that drive to get things going with this connection, to get it off the ground. And for those of you, if you've been with this person for a while, you may, if you guys have history, I'm talking like, years, right? Several months up to a year. You guys have history with this person, and it never really feels like it gets off the ground, like it's perpetually staying like in the Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles realm, staying in the realm of getting to know each other. This is why. It's this Knight of Wands in the reverse energy, and it's that Knight of Swords in the reverse energy, that it's that fear and it's that doubt, like, your person kind of saying to themselves, this could end in disaster if I'm not careful. And so this is kind of where your person's coming from. They're getting in the way of things really progressing here because of fear. Okay, because of doubt. They're letting the past get in the way. Okay, because what they want, they're being driven. This is an internal drive and desire. They want things to progress. They want to go to the next level. They want to go beyond the aces, right? They want to go beyond just getting to know you. And they're letting fear and, you know, negative what ifs, right? Playing worst case scenarios out in their head and stuff like that. And the fact that they are watching you as closely as they are is just letting you know, pile one, they're just making sure that as they plant more seed, that something's not going to come along and rob them of that. I hope that makes sense. Let's see, what do they want to say to you? Let's find out, what do they want to say? Pile one's person, what are your honest thoughts and feelings towards pile one right now? What are your honest thoughts and feelings towards pile one? Okay, let's get two more. Now that'll tell you what I'm picking up on. Yeah, some of you have a history with this person already. Yes, healing from heartbreak. Your person is keeping very close to them a memory of having been done wrong in the past, or a memory of, you know, close relationships or close bonded connections just not working out, okay? Whether they're doing that consciously or not. Yeah, and then here we have, I want this more than you know, and then at the bottom of the deck it says, I moved on. But I have a feeling that that's more or less talking about what's been keeping them stuck in the beginning phases of this connection. Okay, so yeah, what's getting in the way of this connection is past heartbreak. Okay, lessons, and they're holding those lessons very close to the vest because they, you know, are very reluctant to have history repeat itself. They don't want to go through with you or with anybody what they've gone through with someone else or even multiple people in the past. Okay, even though they see you in this connection as being very promising. And we have, I want this more than you know, coming out underneath soulmate. They want that bond with you. They want it to be real. I have a feeling what's coming through is they thought they had that soulmate bonding connection with someone else, and it turns out that's not what it was, okay, to your person anyway. They don't want to be wrong again. They don't want to make the wrong choice again. They don't, you see what I'm saying? They definitely are not wanting to have their heart broke in that way again. Yeah, I moved on. They're tying that back to whatever that past person is. So it's not that they're still stuck on that past person, like they're still in love with that person. It's the memory of how your person felt when they, you know, realized that things weren't what they thought they were with that person. It's the pain they're holding on to, okay? It's not, yeah, your person's saying they moved on. It's not the person. They're over the person. They're not over the feeling that they got when they realized that they bought into an illusion, or they bought into a lie, or they believed something was one way when really it was another. It's that feeling, okay? We also have, I'm sorry for making you look / feel like a fool. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about the King of Wands. Is the King of Wands. Let's see, I think that's your person. So yeah, they're taking personal responsibility for something that they did and or said. Literally, okay, we got the King of Wands in the upright position, and then the Knight of Swords now coming up in the upright position. There's something, and they may have acted very hastily. Now, both of these cards are coming up in the upright position, which shows me it's not necessarily distorted energy that they were in, okay? But they could have been acting very impulsive, maybe even slightly reckless, right? Because we do have the Knight of Swords showing up in the reverse over here. What's coming through, pile one, is they took actions and or they may have said things at a point in time before they realized who you were to them. And they are sorry for that. There is an energy that's also coming through with the King of Wands and the Knight of Swords clarifying. I'm sorry for making you look at or feel like a fool. They're wanting to step into more of a king role now. So this is them possibly even, I'm hearing affording. How weird. Affording you an apology. That's weird. I don't know why it came through like that. That's weird. I might have to stop and look that up because that's literally what they want to. This is them coming through and affording you an apology. I don't know if maybe your person hasn't been the type up until this point to, apologize. I don't know. But this is, with the King of Wands coming through with the Knight of Swords, this is almost your person feeling the urgency to apologize for making you feel that way. And I'm also hearing that wasn't their intention. Yeah, definitely. With the King of Wands, that your person's intention was not to embarrass you, not to make you look like a fool. Nothing like that. There's a sense of your person wanting to maintain some kind of emotional integrity with you. And so this is them possibly wanting to come in and clear the air about something, okay? Wanting to make things right and set the record straight with you when it comes to that, because there is the sense that that an explanation from them will actually clear up a lot of things and it may set things right between the two of you, for those of you where that resonates, okay? But we do have this coming out on the board as a main energy. So for many of you, you guys have had an experience with your person and in this connection where they may have done or said something that made you feel foolish. Okay, and they don't like that you feel that way and they want to come in and rectify the situation. I do want to clarify, I moved on just to make sure I'm on the right track with that, and then I will clarify I want this more than you know. I'll clarify healing from heartbreak too. Tell me I moved on. They're saying that is about the heartbreak. Okay, okay, so they've moved on, possibly from a water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Somebody that they did have a lot of love for, and then with the Ace of Swords at the back of the deck, that's confirmation. Like, yeah. So it's not that they still love that person. Your person may have love still for that person, but not be in love with them. Like, they might still care about them. Hope your person may still hope that past person is doing okay, whatever the case may be. They're saying, okay, so they're putting things in the right place, because what your person is saying is that they wish that person the best. There's no love lost, and there's no ill will that your person is holding towards the past person. So, yeah, that might be your person taking on some personal accountability for why they may have gotten involved with somebody only to realize that it wasn't what they thought it was. Your person may be taking some personal accountability for that, which is actually a very mature place to be. Tell me about healing from heartbreak. Okay, your person's getting their pep back and their your person. And, that could also be them healing from, a Queen of Wands energy too. Somebody that they were very attracted to. But let's see. Tell me more about the Queen of Wands as it's clarifying healing from heartbreak. Yeah, this feels more like your person kind of getting their pep back, their mojo. Yeah, they're no longer tied. We got the devil in the, I can't show it on camera for too long, but we got the devil in the reverse showing up at the back of the deck. Okay, so the hard part they're saying is over. They've gotten over the person themselves. There's just still a little bit that your person is needing to process in terms of the way things went down. And it feels more like your person kind of, that's on them, they're saying. They're having a hard time trusting themselves. That's why they're kind of hanging back with this connection. It's their way of vetting you and vetting the connection and making sure this is actually what it is. Like what it appears to be is actually what it is, right? That's what they're vetting and making sure about. Tell me more about I want this more than you know. Oh, yeah. Yo. Four of Wands. They want marriage. They want a happy home life with you. You know, that Four of Wands also comes through as soulmate energy. It's also twin flame energy. You know, they want this to be real. That's tying back to the Hierophant too. Like, you know, they do. They're like, oh my gosh, please let this be real. Let pile one be real. Let this connection be exactly what I'm feeling like it is. You know, they feel it, they sense it, and there's still a little bit of that trepidation where it's like, go slow though, go slow just in case, right? I'm seeing the King of Cups in the reverse at the back of the deck. This feels like your person's still holding their heart and their soul at arm's length from you until they feel like you and the connection has been vetted enough. Okay, and really what that's going to take for your person is consistency on your part. Just you continuing to show up and consistently as yourself, right? Yeah, then we have that pregnancy showing up at the bottom of the deck earlier. You know, you are somebody that they can see themselves building a family with. Okay, for those of you that want children and can't have children, that's what they want with you, right? For those of you, it could be blended families. And it could just talk about anchoring the idea of this connection into the actual 3D, you know, not just living it out in their head and in fantasies and in their mind, but actually living it out in real life, everyday life. All right, so now we're going to get some messages from them to you to close the reading. Pile one, if you got from this reading what you came here for, take a minute if you would. Smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it resonated. Become part of the family if you want to by hitting the subscribe button. Don't forget about a notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. All right, now let's see. What is their messages to you? What do you want, pile one? What do you want to say to pile one? What do you want to say to pile one? Okay. We have I'm in a committed relationship. We also have I see life differently now. The last card here for what they're wanting to say to you is I still have feelings for you. The back of the deck says I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. Okay. Let's see. Let me clarify though, because the first sense that I got when I am in a committed relationship came out, it felt like that was your person saying they were in a committed relationship to themselves. They're committed to themselves first. That's why they're taking things so slowly in this connection, because they're wanting to make sure that they're not deceiving themselves. They're definitely not wanting to make sure that they're going to end up, for whatever reason, abandoning themselves to this connection. You know, they want equal give and take. They want the, you know, they want everything that they've perceived, that they have been perceiving about this connection. They want it to be true. Okay, let's see. I'm in a committed relationship. Tell me more about that, please, for you, what you want pile one to know. Yeah, very much so. King of Wands. They're in a committed relationship to themselves because that's exactly how your person showed up earlier with the King of Wands. That's your person, okay? So they're committed to themselves first, and when they vet you and you prove yourself to be exactly who you portray yourself to be, then they'll commit to you too, okay? What's I see life differently now? This is why they're moving the way that they are moving, is because they have learned some very important lessons when it comes to relationships and commitments and love and romance, okay? Tell me more about I see life differently now. Clarify the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse for why you see life differently now. Okay, this is them. Yeah, your person may have not been the most patient kind of a person. They may have rushed into something before they really got to know the person, and they really got to know the like the foundation of the dynamic of their connection with that person, right? So this is them being very cautious. I'm getting a sense with the Ten of Wands coming through here, like your person is understanding them, like them going against, man, they're not even wanting me to say this. Your person going against the natural flow of this connection, which the natural flow of this connection feels like it's that Eight of Wands. It's that natural momentum. That's what happens when you link up with someone and the energy is just right and the energies align. You know, energy wants to move, right? And when you have two of the same energies coming together, it wants to move even faster, right? And that's kind of what's happening here. Your person putting on the brakes and pumping the brakes on this connection so they can, you know, not be swept up. They're very afraid of being swept up, right? But them kind of putting the brakes on this connection and actually kind of holding up the momentum is causing your person a lot of stress, okay? Believe it or not, pile one. But your person is like, they have a reason for doing it, okay? Whereas your person is saying before, they would have allowed themselves, and they did. They would have, and they did. They allowed themselves to be swept up in the momentum of the, you know, the energy before. Only they weren't realizing they were being swept up in something that wasn't going, the momentum, like it wasn't going to last, right? Because it's hard to explain. I can see where your person's coming from, though. See, you and your person really do align, and it's because it's the core energies of who you are. It's, you know, you're not presenting yourself to be somebody other than what you are, right? So what your person is picking up with you, that's genuine. Your guys' bond and your connection is genuine. It's not based off of false pretenses. Your person got swept up in something not realizing that it was based off of false pretenses, right? And that's why the, you know, momentum in that past connection died down, and maybe in a very catastrophic way to your person, because, you know, they allowed themselves to fall in love with somebody, and it wasn't even that person's true energy. It was more like the mask, right? I hope that makes sense. Is there anything else? What do we have next to that? I still have feelings for you. Yeah, let's clarify that, though, and then we'll end your guys' reading. Clarify, tell me more about I still have feelings for you. Yeah, oh, there it is. I knew it. I was feeling it, the Ace of Pentacles. They still want this, is what they're saying. Because for a lot of you, I like them still having feelings for you. I don't think that that's like shocking to you. I think you kind of know that. What you may not know is they still want to get things off the ground very much with you, right? Now, we have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles officially coming out in the reading now. All right, so yes, the potential for love is there with the Ace of Cups. It's fertile, it's potent, it's beautiful, it's promising, it's a clean slate even, right? And now with the Ace of Pentacles coming out to actually ground that into the 3D. And when I say grounded, I mean like actually planting something in the soil so that it can grow and blossom. And this is what your person is saying. They still want that. They still desire that. They still have the drive to do that. Okay. Let me clarify the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, they're saying yes. They're saying yes, because what I was getting ready to ask is like, are they actually going to do it? Because desiring it and doing it are two different things. The fact that it's coming through in the Ace of Pentacles, yes, they are. They are gonna, if they haven't already, they are going to start taking like real action towards grounding this connection into real life, okay, into their real life. You know, getting you involved in their life more, you know, them getting involved in your life more, you know, meeting friends, meeting kids, doing things more together, date nights, you guys becoming more of a staple, more of a pillar in each other's lives, but they're doing it little steps at a time. All right, you guys, pile, yeah, and then we got the 8 of Pentacles at the back of the deck. They're ready to put more time, attention, and focus into this connection and actually getting it off the ground, okay, into something more real, more solid, more stable, more committed. All right, you guys, that was your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. I will see you guys at your next Pick a Card Love reading by Pile 1. What's going on, Pile 2? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. We are doing another Pick a Card Love reading. We are tapping into your person and channeling what is it they want from you. What do they want from the connection, if anything? We're just going to find out, where do you stand with them, okay? And at the end, we'll get, you know, their overall thoughts and feelings, and then, you know, whatever messages they want to, whatever it is they want to say to you at the end. Okay, so keep in mind, Pile 2, it's a general reading. Whatever resonates, take it, run with it. If something isn't resonating, just drop it, leave it behind for the person it's resonating for. I do have personal readings available if you want me to tap exclusively into the energy of you and your person's connection. All the booking details are listed in the description box below. I have a lot of readings available in the specific person category. Many of them are just $25, so go check them out. See which one most fits your needs, all right? Pile 2. You guys were drawn to the rough black obsidian. We'll see if that stone is, if you guys were drawn to that stone for a reason. Black obsidian is really good to use if you're trying to block out, like, either filtering out psychic smog, okay, psychic confusion. It can also just be something to repel, you know, negative energies. And so we'll see what's going on here. See if that maybe plays a factor. Your person's overall energy towards you and the connection at this time. We have make the effort. It says great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Now we have the High Priestess in the reverse. We have Justice in the reverse. And then we have the 10 of Swords. Oof, man. I just heard the song, Shaggy. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Okay. Yeah, well, you know, Pile 2, your person, like, where you stand with your person, I'm hearing they're in hot water and they know it. Okay, they're in hot water and they know it. And they know that they know the right thing to do, okay? And the right thing to do, I mean, it's going to be different for all of you, but your person is understanding, you know, they need to make some kind of a move towards you, okay? And they're feeling very hesitant to do that. For many of you, it's because you caught them red-handed with something, and they're fearing first of all, there's some guilt here. They might be feeling guilty, remorseful. Some of that energy is coming through, but they're also kind of fearing the consequences. Like, what if they do reach out to you? Like, they know, they have this intrinsic knowing. They need to say something. They need to make a move towards you, even if it's just to apologize. But feeling very trepidatious about doing that, okay? That word is coming through a lot in this reading. It came through a lot for pile 1 for different reasons, but still. Yeah, I'm hearing they know they need to make it right. They're afraid of that, though, okay? Let's find out what's going on. Yeah, we're going to just get through with, we're going to go in on your reading, find out where you stand with them currently. We'll see if we can get down to whether or not they're actually going to come through like with some kind of a, you know, an apology or something. Pile 2's person, where does pile 2 currently stand with you? Love bomber. Okay. Oh my God. And we'll find out why. Yeah, your person is definitely, they're wanting to chase you, okay? Definitely wanting to chase you. We got passion showing up at the bottom of the deck. It says lustful desires, sexual chemistry, and craving you. You guys, though. And I am going to clarify, but we have love bomber right next to it. We have extravagant gestures, but it's showing up in the reverse. I'm going to find out what's going on here, because almost what I'm picking up with love bomber, and then right next to it is the extravagant gestures, but it's showing up in the reverse. This is a lot of talk and no follow through where you stand with them. Saying a lot, but not doing a lot. Okay, chasing you with their words and with their energy, but not backing it up with actions. Okay, and the fact that we got passion showing up at the bottom of the deck, that feels like their motivation. That's what they're really after. I'm gonna go ahead and get out their thoughts and feelings to find out if they're actually in a kind of a genuine space. They might be wanting to come at you like and to lay it on thick, because with the chaser it says low self-esteem, validation of self-worth, and abandonment issues. All right. Let's see. Pile 2's person, what are your honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 1 in the connection? What do we got here? Healing from heartbreak. Do we have to get married though? Okay, and that's coming out underneath extravagant gestures in the reverse. Let's get one more. Trust issues. There's almost a sense that your person is almost willing to do whatever it takes to kind of get back in your good graces, to make up for whatever it is that hurt you in the connection. But there's something, yeah, and then at the bottom of the deck it says this is true love. Okay, so that's how your person feels about you in the connection. What they do feel towards you is genuine. It's not just sexually driven, but that might be your person's way of communicating like how special you are to them. It's some, you see what I'm saying? They're willing to lay it on thick, but and it may have something to do with marriage. I am going to start clarifying now to see what's going on, because now that this is all coming through, I'm not necessarily feeling like your person is being disingenuous when they do lay it on thick. What extravagant gestures feels like in the reverse now is your person saying they're willing to do just about anything, but there's something that maybe you're wanting. Okay, and this is going to resonate for those of you where you're like, don't come back to me unless you're ready to like move in together, get married, get engaged, have kids, or something very extravagant in your person's eyes that they're like, I'm not ready for that though. Like your person's like, we can date more, we can spend more quality time together, we can communicate more often, maybe even meet like friends and family, but it's like there's a line that they're drawing and they're saying that is too much, right? Let's find out what extravagant gestures that is. Ten of Cups at the back of the deck. For some of you, what they're not willing to do is get married and have kids. Okay. And for some of you, you already know what that is because you guys may have already had a conversation about it. Or you know what it is because it was kind of like you told him, you know, you're not going to have anything to do with them unless they come with you, you know, ready to start a family, ready to have kids, ready to get married, ready to move in together, stuff like that, okay? Your person is, they're like, I'll do everything with you, you know, I'll commit to you even, you know, I'll give you the label of being my girlfriend, you know, boyfriend, significant other, whatever, right? But I don't want to do that, whatever that may be. Okay, marriage for a lot of you, moving in for a lot of you, having babies for a lot of you, all of the above even, okay? But it literally says right here, do we have to get married though? So for a lot of you, that's what your person is like. They have no problem laying it on thick. You want romance? Sure. You want me to cook for you? Sure. You want to light candles and catch that vibe and hold hands more and whatever. They're like, sure, but I'm not going to do that. That's what they don't, whatever that is. For many of you, it's marriage, okay? Ooh, yeah, okay. Chaser being clarified by the Five of Swords in the upright position. They'll do whatever it takes damn near to get you back. Okay. Now this feels like this is even your person saying they'll get rid of whoever they need to get rid of in their life. You know, they'll stop talking who they need to stop talking to. So this is your person saying they take you in this connection very seriously. And they're willing to do almost whatever it takes to get you back, minus like getting married and or living together and or having kids. Let me clarify that. Oh yeah, and then we got the yes for many of marriage, living together. They don't want to do that. That's the biggest energy with the Four of Wands at the back of the deck. What's the Ten of Swords then? What is this over here? What's the Ten of Swords? Yeah, that's pointing towards sneaky behavior. Maybe, you know, having maybe done some things or participated in some things that taken them away from the connection, even if it was temporarily. Definitely coming through in whatever that Ten of Swords is in regards to could have left you feeling like, you know, they disrespected you and or the connection. But they're wanting to come back from that with the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. There is an energy pile to where you stand with your person. They want to make things right between the two of you. And they're willing to do damn near whatever it takes, but they have a caveat, right? You know, they're even saying like they have no problem. What you guys want to, you know, you take a trip together. Okay, let's go on vacation. Okay, but there's a big caveat there. We already talked about it. Okay, what's trust issues? Tell me more about that, please. Queen of Wands in the reverse. Clarify the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Ooh. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, and then we have the King of Swords. This can definitely speak to a third party, possibly retaliation either on your part, or if there was a third party involved that contributed to this Ten of Swords energy here, you know, retribution coming through from that person. There's two feminines and a masculine being depicted here, okay? We got the Queen of Wands in the reverse, the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, and then the King of Swords in the upright position. You know, this, For some of you, this is getting very specific, but you know, you're going to know if it's your energy or not. The Queen of Wands in the reverse here could be you guys, you know, in heavy fire dominant energies. Aries, Leo, Sag, whether that's your sun sign, whether it's in your big three, could be your Venus, could be, you know, sun, moon, rising. Could also be, you know, just you have fire energy dominate in your chart somewhere. You know, fire energy could be your chart signature. But there's just saying that it's not their own trust issues they fear, it's yours. Okay? Possibly because they did involve themselves with somebody that, even though they weren't really committed to that person, they still were involved with that person. And I feel for a lot of you, because of what I channeled earlier, you caught this person somehow red-handed, possibly with an earth sign, okay, a feminine earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But if it's not an earth sign, then it's just letting your person, that's just letting you know they didn't have any intention of, you know, being with that person long term. Okay? But they do. They fear you having trust issues and what that's going to mean for your guys' connection. Okay? Let's find out now what they want to talk to you about. What do they want to say to you? And we're going to close out your reading. Pile 2, if this is resonating, if you got from this reading what you came here for, take a moment, if you would, smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know what pile you picked. Let me know how it resonated. Become part of the family if you would like to by smashing the subscribe button. Don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. Your person is also wanting you to know, pile 2, like whatever may have went down between them and someone else, they're seeing you as like, this is what I have with pile 2. This is real love. This is real connection, right? They're also like, they didn't really take that other person very seriously. Okay, so let's see. I remember every detail of that day. I wonder if you are happy without me. And some of them are wondering if you're better off without them as well. Okay, they don't want it to be like that, but there is a part of your person, pile 2, that wonders if maybe you would just be better off without him, if they should walk away and just, you know, let you find your happiness elsewhere. Then we got, I can't be with you. Bottom of the deck says, I have too much to lose. We'll see what's going on with these energies. There is kind of an underlying current of your person craving you, though. Remember, we have passion at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, there's a lot of fire and passion between the two of you. Let me know. Let's see. Tell me more about I can't be with you. Why is that here? If there is a third-party element still lingering, that might be your person trying to kind of tie up some loose ends with that person. Tell me more about I can't be with you. Yeah, they're tying up loose ends right now. So, you know, for those of you where you know that your person got involved with someone else and that's largely the reason why the two of you aren't talking, your person right now, before they feel like, especially if you haven't heard from this person, before they reach out or even attempt, you know, because your person is knowing they owe you an apology, they owe you an explanation, they owe you something. They feel like they owe you something. They're in debt to you for something. They want to pay you back. They want to make things right. They want to, you know, rebalance things out in the connection again. But in order for them to do that, there's a big, huge fucking wrench that they're needing to take care of, and for many of you it's in the form of a third party. But you know, things got really messy is what it's feeling like, especially with your person coming through in the King of Swords. Okay, they're very clear about what just happened. They're very clear about it, and they're very clear about the mess that they made. They're very clear about the loose ends are needing to tie up in that whole situation. This is carrying the vibe for me, pile 2, that they got themselves in over their heads with that third party situation. Okay, now whether they actually were ever committed to that person or not, whether however they may have gotten involved, for some of you it's just a messy loose end, because that person now, the third party, now that your person's trying to walk away from it or end it, okay, the third party is like not having it. Like, what do you mean you don't want to be with me anymore? That's not what you were saying, blah, 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 right? And so your person is like, ah, shit, they got themselves into something they can't just easily walk away from. They're having to tie up some loose ends, and it may take your person some time, some energy, some resources, and some efforts to do it. Just depends on how deep they went with that person. Okay, for some of you, it could have gone pretty deep, right? I mean, they could have been with that person for real. They could have had an actual relationship. I mean, they could have gotten themselves pretty involved. But, with the 7 of Pentacles in the reverse, this feels like your person wanting to walk away and tie up some loose ends with the third party, but they're not able to really make things right with you while things with the third party still are unfinished. Okay, tell me more about I remember every detail of that day. Actually, they want me to clarify I have too much to lose at the bottom of the deck. Tell me more about I have too much to lose. That feels like that's directly connected to the I can't be with you. And I just heard right now, I can't be with you right now. Okay. Yeah, they put some time and some effort into something that didn't work out. That's what that's pointing to. So what's the risk here? Yeah, this is pointing towards the third party. They got themselves in too deep when it comes to the third party. They may have even gotten themselves in hot water with the third party as well, and not just with you, okay? Things seem very... Yeah, your person, oh my gosh. What do you have to lose? Ooh. Your person could stand to, okay, so your person has made some sort of investment into that third party situation or into the third party, okay? Your person walking away from the third party, your person is gonna feel like it was all for nothing, like they just wasted their time, okay? That may be for those of you where you are experiencing your person, like things being over between them and the third party, but like their relationship itself, for whatever reason, still being intact with the third party. It's because of like your person feels like they're mentally and emotionally checked out when it comes to a third party situation. Like they don't want to be over there anymore. That's not where their passion is. Their passion is with you, right? They want to walk away from the third party and make things right with you, but there is something that they are being threatened with or threatened by. It could have been something they bought with the third party, something they invested in with the third party. They may have to give something up, and whatever that something is, it's substantial in your person's eyes. It could be connected to how much money that was paid for it. Is there anything else to narrow down what this is? Yeah, okay. You know, for some of them, it's just giving up the connection with the third party. That could be, you know, but what's the Two of Cups, though? Because, oh, they sacrificed you in this connection to go be with the third party. And with this Ten of Swords here, your person is already seeing like, you know, you guys are over, right? They want to make things up to you, but they got this sense of things between me, you know, like there's something that they want to get back when it comes to you, but there's like almost a sense of like they'll never get it back, right? Even if the two of you were to get together, and this is where your person, this is their thinking when it comes to you. Like things have been irrevocably, is that how you say it? Irrevocably damaged? Irreparably damaged. Things in this connection with you have been irreparably damaged, possibly because they went in the direction of a third party. And so it's like, if they walk away from the third party, it's like they damaged what they had with you for nothing. And they're having a hard time wrapping their head around that. That's why it's like, they don't want to face the realization that what they have with the third party has failed. It's not working. But they also cannot face what they sacrificed for the third party. They'll have to admit to themselves that they sacrificed you and what they had with you for something that just didn't work out. Okay, there's a lot that your person is needing. Yeah, look. They sacrificed, y'all could have been married, you guys could have had something really good, and then they walked away from you to go try something out with someone else, and that didn't work out. Now it's like they can't come back to this anymore. This isn't there. The Four of Wands. What you guys had before, the kind of connection and the bond that you guys had before is not there because they broke it to go be with somebody else. Okay? That's why they're having a hard time really just walking away from the third party, because they sacrificed a lot. A lot. Your person knows this. This is them coming through where you stand with them. Your person knows they sacrificed a lot to go try things out with that third party, right? And now it's like, if I walk away from the third party, then I sacrificed pile 2 and my connection and my bond with pile 2 for nothing. And that's too difficult for them to really face, right? So much to the point where they're sticking it out in a connection with a third party where they're not really happy. They're not happy. They're not fulfilled. They don't want to be over there anymore. But it's like, it's kind of carrying the energy of, this is the bed that I chose. This is the mess that I made. I need to just lay in it and deal with it and stick with it. You know, it's kind of that energy. Let's see, anything else? Yeah, that's it, pile 2. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me again today, and I will see you guys at your next Pick a Card Love reading. Bye, guys. Hello, pile 3. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. We are doing another Pick a Card Love reading. We're tapping into your person's energy, and we're finding out where you stand with them. We're going to find out what, you know, where you stand with them. Who are you to them? What do they want with you in the connection? And then towards the end, we will channel direct messages, like what do they want to say to you, and then their thoughts and feelings towards you in the connection. Okay. So keep in mind, you guys, it's a general reading. So whatever resonates, take it, run with it. If something isn't resonating, just drop it. Leave it for whomever it might be resonating for. I do have personal readings available if you want me to exclusively tap into the energy of you and your person's connection. All of the booking details are in the description box. I have a lot of readings available in the specific person category. Many of them are just $25, so go check them out, see which one fits your needs, okay? Ooh, we have a storm brewing. Right as I said that, I just heard thunder. Okay, and I can see the storm clouds coming in. You guys were drawn towards, let's see, the fire agate heart. We'll see what's going on. Storms are brewing, though. We'll see if that has anything to do with your guys' reading. Ooh, I would say it would. Yeah, okay. Okay, so the first card out, this is talking about where you like their energy towards you right now, right? We have the card very soon, It says clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So your person is under, they know they need to make, there's a decision your person knows they need to make. They know that. That's very aware. For many of you, it's at the forefront of your person's mind. However, okay, and they are being very much influenced by a lot of doubt, a lot of fear, and a lot of insecurity. Okay. Very much. They're trying to be as logical and level-headed and going about it in the best common sense way that they can. They're having a very difficult time, though. Five of Pentacles, King of Swords, and the King of Pentacles in the reverse. A lot of this could talk about, you know, your person's financial capabilities. They could be also operating from, you know, the lens of an abandonment wound, a fear of being left out in the cold, okay? Let's see. Let's get to clarifying and see what some of these are real quick. We have, tell me more about the Five of Pentacles. Actually, the King of Swords. Tell me more about the King of Swords here. No, actually, they want me to go, okay, if this needs to be clarified later, we'll clarify it, but they're saying it's okay to get on with the reading itself. Okay, let's see. Your person's in a very contemplative state right now, because that's exactly what I'm falling into. Very contemplative, mulling things over. Let's find out. Pile 3's person. What does pile 3 stand with you? What do you want with pile 3? Try spell, but it's coming up in the reverse, okay? Let's get 2 more. Single. We'll see. Beauty. Okay, so they see you as very attractive. They're very magnetized to you. I will see what direction single is going to. That could be what they're mulling over, because this says available, currently no other partner and open to dating. And then we got main lady at the back of the deck. I feel like this is you, okay? This says they have chosen no interference, focused on one person. That's you, okay? So the decision that your person is making is basically whether or not to choose you or to choose another path that doesn't have you on it. That's where they're at, okay? With the Five of Pentacles, they could be feeling abandoned by you, especially if you walked away. If you walked away and that may be you walked away because your person wasn't making a choice. They weren't choosing you, and so maybe you walked away. And so that has caused your person to very seriously consider what it means to actually choose you and choose this connection. What it means to truly choose a path with you on it. A path where they're focusing on you, they're choosing you. There's a lot going on, though. Let's clarify. Now, again, I do have main lady at the back of the deck, and so that's, you know, I still feel like they're very iffy. They're very iffy still. They haven't actually chosen. Okay, let me find out what's going on with single here. Dry spell in the reverse, okay? They don't want to be sexually abstinent from you, okay? You know, in the upright position, dry spell says sexual abstinence, no action in love, long time being single, okay? Oh, okay, that's what that is. It's not that they want to be single. That's not it. Meaning they don't want a path where the two of you are not seeing each other and they're just off doing that. That's not what they want. They don't want that, okay? That's why that's there the way that it is with the dry spell in the reverse. That they're clarifying, okay? It's not that they want to be with someone. This is their energy towards you. Not single, right? They want to be available to you. They don't want to be with anybody else. It says currently no other partner, and then it says open to dating, but I feel like that's you, open to dating you. They're open to exploring the path with you on it, and you being their other half, okay? With beauty here, it says intimidated by your beauty stands out in physical attraction. I feel like it's more like the physical attraction, the sexual attraction, the romantic attraction they feel towards you. There's a spotlight on it. It's being highlighted. They're feeling very attracted to you, very magnetized by you. That's carrying a Queen of Wands energy in the upright position. Okay, this is what they want with you, okay? They want you. That's what they're saying they want. They want you, and they have a lot of fear, a lot of doubt, and a lot of insecurities getting in the way. Okay? Let's find out what those are. Let's highlight what's the fears and the insecurities here. We probably have already... They're not sure they have what it takes or the resources that it takes to really, you know, do this thing with you. Pile 3 is what they're saying. We got the Ace of Swords in the reverse, and then we have the Page of Pentacles, okay? If they're seeing you as somebody that's in Queen energy and they're only carrying the resources, you know, the energetic makeup of a page, they can see that might be why it's coming through saying intimidated by your beauty. It's not so much your beauty I feel like they're intimidated by. They're intimidated by your energy, your power, your charisma, your magnetism, because they don't feel like they're in a spot right now where they're able to match that, both energetically and financially, and maybe even in sex drive, okay? You may have a very high sex drive and maybe your person doesn't for some reason. Like they're very, very physically attracted to you. They do, very much so. They're saying under no circumstances would they ever want to choose a path that doesn't have you in it, where the two of you are at least having sex, right? They love, oh my gosh, the sexual chemistry for them is there, okay? And you're the only one. A lot of these energies coming out, you know, they're saying you're the only one they want that with, but they don't feel like they have the capability of maintaining it. They may see you as being very high maintenance energetically, okay? And your person is seeing you as being very high maintenance because they're not currently in the energy of a king. If they were in the energy of a king, you wouldn't be intimidating them that way, right? And so your person is looking at things very logically, yeah, especially with the King of Swords in the upright position. They're looking at things, at least the way they look at it, in a very logical, common sense kind of a thing. You know, yeah, they have all these feelings for you, all this chemistry and all this attraction, and they're not allowing themselves to get swept up, out and away from it, to where they're actually really looking at things from a very practical standpoint. Yes, I want pile 3. Yes, I want to move things forward with pile 3. But do I have the resources, the energy, the time, the attention, the money, you know, to actually do that? And what we see here in the very beginning with the Five of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles in the reverse, they don't. Currently, they don't. They're just doing where you're coming from, where your person is coming from, pile 3, where you stand with them. They have taken a very honest assessment of themselves, and that assessment has resulted in your person feeling like they're lacking. They lack the abundance and the resources that they feel is required in order to take care of someone like you. Maybe not, but when I say, you know, like again, they're seeing your energy as being very high maintenance. They're not able to match it at this point in time. Not high maintenance because, you know, you're a drama queen or you're a bridezilla or anything like that. Just energetically, right? Just your energy in and of itself is calling your person. The way your person sees it, you know, the perfect match in energy for a Queen of Wands is a King of Wands, or even really any king, okay, can be, you know, a match for a queen. It's just going to be different elements. But a perfect match for, you know, a Queen of Wands is going to be the King of Wands, right? And the fact that they're showing up, yeah, a lot of the stamina is coming through. Your person doesn't feel like they can keep up with you, whatever that means. Yes, stamina in terms of like sexual stamina. Maybe you just have a lot of energy and vitality, and it's like, you know, they can't keep up with you. And that, I feel like that's in more ways than one. Tell me more about dry spell in the reverse. Your person feels like if they were, they feel like they're in over their heads when it comes to you. There's the, yeah. They want, look at it. And then look what just came out. The King of Wands in the upright position. They want to be this for you, okay? They want to be your match in every single way. They want to be. But they just feel like they're not, okay? In fact, your person might feel like the only place where they are an equal match to you could be just in the bedroom, just in the, you know, attractiveness department, like that. Otherwise, your person has done a lot of thinking. They've done a lot of analyzing, especially in that King of Swords energy. You know, that honest assessment, that's your person just saying, you know, I don't really measure up to pile 3 in any other area except for this one. And your person is even questioning whether or not they can measure up in that area on a more regular basis. This is especially true for those of you where you and your person don't see each other that often. Okay, they might give you a really great show in the bedroom, especially if, you know, it's only maybe once a week or twice a month or whatever the case may be, but they're like, could I pull that off every day? Right? They're really thinking about stuff like that. I'm hearing, I just heard them say they don't want to sell you short. They don't want to sell you short. They don't want to give you less than what they know that you deserve. And them seeing you as, you know, Queen of Wands energy, they know that that's how you feel about yourself as well. Like, you're not going to, like, not only do they not want to sell you short, they know you're not going to allow yourself to sell yourself short. They know that. Let's find out what their thoughts and feelings are. I'll be honest, you know, what they want and what they're likely to do could be very two different things. What they want, right? They want to be able to match your energy. They want to be able to give you what you deserve. They want to be able to go around with you, you know, whether it's, you know, financially, sexually, romantically, but, you know, what they may actually end up doing is walking away if they just don't see that, like, there's a way that they can give that to you. Okay, they don't want to disappoint you in the long run, and they definitely don't want to break their own heart by trying to promise something that they know at this point in time they're just not able to give, okay? Pile 3's person, what are your honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 3 and the connection at this time? Yeah, look, it says you're exactly what I'm looking for in a life partner. You check off all of the boxes, pile 3, but they're under the impression that they don't check off a lot of boxes for you, okay? Or that's just their own honest self-assessment. Okay, this is coming out more where it's favoring the I want to be more than friends, but it is kind of, I'm picking up on both energies here. Can we be friends? I want to be more than friends, right? If they had their way, they do, pile 3. Many of you have already gone there with your person sexually, right? And they don't want to go without that with you. They don't want to go without sex with you, okay? They want that. And they're also understanding and realizing, you know, that's a big ask of you, and that, you know, that's gonna be one of the things they're gonna have to face if they decide to let you go for whatever reasons. For many of you, if they decide to let you go, it's because they knew they couldn't, they didn't have the resources to show up as the King of Wands to your Queen of Wands. Okay, they're just showing up in page energy. They don't want to be friends, but they're saying if, you know, if that's the only way that they're going to be able to have you in their life, I mean, they're willing to do that. Okay, they're willing to do that. They want more than that, though. They're being very clear about that. Give me one more. Okay, and then let's see. This says, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. And then the bottom of the deck says, I'm ready. Let's find out what's going on with that. Clarify. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Ooh. This is weird. All right, you guys, I need to sit with this energy real quick because something feels off. Okay, let me tell you where I'm coming from, because we have down here, it says you're exactly what I'm looking for in a life partner. Okay, they see you as somebody that's very beautiful, very captivating. Queen of Wands energy. Then we have I love you, but I'm not in love with you, being clarified by the Empress in the reverse. What is this energy? Because it almost feels... Help me understand what's going on here. Throwing wrenches in there. All right, let's see. Let's get this out, and maybe this will help us figure out what's going on with that right there. What do you want, pile? Your messages to pile 3, please. Finding out the truth crushed me. I'm recovering, but it's showing up in the reverse. Let's get one more. Grateful for the spiritual lesson. There's a, okay, ambiguity just entered the chat, and it entered the chat the minute this came up. This feels like a messy situation now presenting itself. We got I can't reach out showing up at the bottom of the deck. Is there a third party element here? Pile 3. Your person is saying that they're ready to move on. They're having a hard time, though. They may still be in love with somebody from their past. Okay, possibly somebody that's like the mother of their kids, somebody they may have been somebody that they may have been, see, now whatever I was getting ready to say is not, because they just totally took that out of my head. It may not be anybody that they are, you know, attracted to anymore, because the Empress is showing up in the reverse. Things just, that might be another reason why they're having a hard time deciding to, I don't want to turn this into a third-party reading because it's not, but things just got really messy and confusing right towards the very end. Okay, they may have lost somebody very recently. Okay, that could be a lot of it too. There's a lot that is really obscuring your person's view of themselves, possibly even of their life, but it's definitely, whatever that is, there's loss here, there's tragedy here. That still feels like it might be holding your person hostage when it comes to moving forward in their life, and that feels like that includes with you, right? And so, you know, I'm just going to stay true to what the message that's coming through. Whatever this Empress energy is, it could be they could have lost somebody. Like if they lost their mom recently, or this could, you know, if they had a really ugly divorce with, you know, somebody from their past or something. It's almost like it's holding their heart hostage. It's not that I don't feel like, because, you know, how do you feel about pile 3? Your honest thoughts and feelings. I mean, that could be it, you know. I mean, it is what it is. They may not have allowed themselves, or maybe they just, you know, they see you as somebody that could be very perfect for them. They see you as somebody that they could focus on, that they could move forward with. You know, the sexual attraction is there, the romantic, you know, all that stuff is there. But something or someone else feels like it's occupying the vast majority of your person's heart and their mind and their mental space right now, you know. And it could be it's connected to somebody that they lost. Okay, whether it's they lost the relationship with that person, and or that person, you know, lost their life. Okay, you're gonna have to put things where they belong. I mean, a lot of that would make sense with the 5 of Pentacles being here, your person feeling abandoned. You know, a lot of the times if we lose someone to death that is very close to us, you know, we feel very abandoned, you know, grieving that the loss, all that stuff. They haven't recovered from that yet. They're still grieving. And the fact, so they're still grieving somebody that, you know, is taking up a lot of their heart space. And so it's just very difficult for them to, you know, either fall in love with you or connect to that love that they have for you, because they're busy grieving the loss of someone else, whether it's literally to death or just, you know, they lost a very special connection to them in their life. They're still grieving it. Okay. With the Devil showing up at the back of the deck, they still have an attachment to that they haven't worked through yet. Okay, the fact that it's showing up as the Devil shows it's a toxic attachment. Now, not to say, like, if they lost someone like their mom or somebody to death that was very close to them, they may have been overly dependent on that person in life, right? And now, like, codependent, like extra dependent. Okay, definitely codependency coming through here. Your person's going through a lot, pile 3, needing to process a lot. That could be why we have finding out the truth crushed me. Let's clarify that. And they're not recovered from it. Okay, what is that? Finding out the truth crushed me. Things just got really confusing on my end, pile 3. Hopefully for you guys are understanding what's going on here. Ooh, Queen of Wands in the reverse. You know, there could be a lot of moving parts to this story too, is what I'm picking up on. You know, something could have happened between the two of you, and they also have something else going on in the background, right? There's a lot of moving and working parts going on here. But what's clarifying, finding out the truth crushed me, that's the Queen of Wands now coming out in the reverse. Clarify the Queen of Wands in reverse. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're referencing a past connection where your person actually matched that person, but in the wrong way. Because, you know, we got a Queen of Wands showing up in the reverse and then a King of Wands in the reverse. This is somebody that they were with, okay? Perfect pair, but for all the wrong reasons. They matched each other's energy perfectly, and it was for all the wrong reasons. You know, just being realistic with you guys, they may still be in love with that person, okay? If it's not like, you know, an actual parental figure, if it's speaking of somebody that they were married to, romantically tied to, all that stuff, sexually tied to, they're still in love with that person. Okay, there is still a toxic attachment and a dependency on that past person's energy. They haven't grieved it, they haven't recovered from it, they haven't gotten over it. It's still, and it could be very well be pile 3, because you know, that's how a lot of masculines are. It takes them quite a bit to actually really start to realize, like, oh, I probably should have, like, you know, processed that, released that, you know, grieved that, and they didn't. And now it feels like that energy is fresh, okay? Even though this is somebody they may have lost a long time ago, or they lost a connection with that person a long time ago, for whatever reason, they just now may be, possibly, I don't know, I'm not really seeing anything come out here that your person is actively, you know, grieving that person, which is what needs to happen in order for that toxic attachment to that person to you know, dissolve. What's I'm ready for? We have I'm ready at the back of the deck. What's I'm ready? Ready for what? They're ready to come out for, yeah, they're ready to get over what happened in the past. They're ready to heal. Which I don't feel like, you know, that's not necessarily your person talking about. That may be giving you a clue into what direction they're wanting to move in, or more than likely to move in. See, your person feels like they don't have the ability to match your energy right now, because a lot of their energy is still tied to a past person or a past point, you know, a point in the past. And they're needing to heal that, to grieve that, to let that go, to work through it, right? Before they could ever even think of showing up for you in a way that matches your energy, but in the right way, right? Because they were dealing with the Queen of Wands in the reverse, and they were showing up in that connection with that person as a King of Wands in the reverse. Perfect matching energies, but it was highly dysfunctional and highly toxic. You know, they left that person and they didn't become the functional part of that energy. They remained as a King of Wands in the reverse. And so now they're trying to match up with someone like you that's showing up as the Queen of Wands in the upright position, right? But they're still the King of Wands in the reverse. They have to go through the healing so that they can complete the evolution that they need to complete, to show up as the functional aspect and expression of that King of Wands, so that they can match your energy. But that's a journey. They need to take that journey, okay? That's so for many of you, I feel like, you know, the decision your person is probably going to end up making is, you know, possibly friend zoning this connection. Maybe for the purposes, let me see, what's the point of that? Is there any ulterior motives to that? There might be some ulterior motives to that. But they're saying it's not bad intentions. And when I mean, like, you know, ulterior motives, meaning like wanting to be friends with you as a way to kind of help, maybe, you know, if the opportunity presents itself again at some point in the future, maybe the two of you guys can like give it another go, right? They're saying, yeah, you know, they wouldn't mind that, but that's not the sole reason. You know, their intentions are good. And they're saying with the Four of Cups in the reverse at the back of the deck, if the opportunity arises that the two of you can be more than friends, they're going to take it, okay? But, you know, they are willing in the interim, if that's, you know, what you're comfortable with, is just being friends because they don't have anything more to offer or to give, including their heart, because it feels like their heart is belonging to someone else at this point in time. They understand. And they're willing to be friends or to stay friends if that's what you're wanting and if that's what you want to do. All right, you guys. Whew, pile 3, that was your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today, and I will see you guys at your next Pick a Card Love reading. Bye, guys.